Understand, I don't support this guy. I don't support what he's doing. But I'm really torn on this story. He is exposing the fact that our governments all around the world have been lying to us. It's been a job we've been trying to do, but been pilloried over and over for doing it. But I don't want a guy to go to jail or to be silenced for something he didn't do. Again, I don't support him. But I want you to look into the crime that he committed to warrant an international manhunt. This whole thing is not sitting right. Assange is under investigation for sex by surprise. What's that? Well, apparently this is Sweden's version of rape, sexual molestation, and unlawful coercion. Routine cases of sexual coercion have a maximum penalty of about 2 years in prison. But there are separate allegations from another Swedish admirer who he was also hooking up with. I want to show you a rough timeline of events from the British newspapers. As I go through this, I'm going to try to, it's confusing, but I want you to try to follow this along with me and then ask yourself this question. Really? Does this make sense? And if this were done by you, would you be getting the same attention that, that he's getting? Would you not be let out? Watch this. I want to show you, first of all, person number one. Now, we can't show you the actual photographs of the accusers. We don't do it. But let me just call her woman number one. She met Assange at a seminar hosted by the Swedish Brotherhood movement. Now, what is the Swedish Brotherhood movement? Well, that group is a hardcore, uber, far-left group with anti-Semitic ties and also has partnered with SDS, Students for a Democratic Society. So he's speaking at this seminar and she's there. Okay? She's well known in radical circles and in college was a protege of the militant feminist academic holding the post on campus of campus sexual equity officer, whatever that is. In the past, woman number one has also had a blog posting that has since been removed called The 7 Steps to Legal Revenge that explained how a woman can use courts to get back on unfaithful lovers. Step 7 says, go to it and keep your victim in sight. Make sure your victim suffers just as you did. Okay, so here she is. We know who she is. She is a radical, uber leftist. She is at this panel where he has been invited to speak. Now remember, this is in August. He was invited to be the key speaker at the seminar on war and the role of the media. This is about the time when Assange was threatening to release more confidential documents. So, woman number one agrees to let Assange stay at her apartment leading up to the event. She says, I'm going to be gone for a few days. Well, it didn't work out that way. She was staying with some friends, and he was staying at the apartment. Well, on a Friday, she decides to come home early. And he says, well, I'm going to have to leave because you're here now. And she says, no, you can go ahead and stay. So they go out for a nice dinner at a restaurant. Sparks flew. They go back to the apartment, and they get busy. Consensual busyness. And this is important to the story, so I apologize. A condom was used, but it broke. Both agree that it was consensual and that the condom broke. That's important. Now, she claims that she was raped. Really? Because it doesn't show here. And here's why I say that. Because the very next evening, she put together a party in honor of him at the apartment that was held after the seminar. Got it? The next day, Assange speaks at the seminar. Now, there's a video of this event, and it was made available by Vaken.se. That's a Swedish network of independent alternative media reporters. The crowd and the journalists were made up primarily of leftist Swedes who were sympathetic to WikiLeaks. He's introduced by a Swedish social democrat. Social democrat. Remember, that's what Putin and everybody else became when the Soviet Empire collapsed. They went from communists to social democrats. He's introduced by a guy who's a social democrat who defended the actions of WikiLeaks as upholding international law. So he's surrounded by friends. Assange gives his speech and everything went as planned. Well, almost. There's one person there that he couldn't miss. One attractive, young, adoring female fan who sat right in the front row caught his eye during the seminar. We found this photo from the Daily Mail. We have blurred her face out, but here she is. Here's the seminar, and here she is. Now, remember, he's at the seminar with woman number one, staying at woman number one's house, and he sees woman number two at the seminar.